Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1. For the News First team, I'm Dithmini De Silva. Let's start off with a look at the headlines. Additional charge for failing to settle water bills within 30 days. Rebate offered to consumers who settle bills within 14 days. Ambilipitia farmers continue satyagraha demanding water for rice field. SLTB incurs a loss of 800 million rupees due to bus accidents. Vets to be moved to essential areas. A Niger coup leader meets with Wagner-allied junta in Mali. Taking a look at the top story, Sri Lankan authorities have increased the monthly water bill with effect from the 1st of August 2023. The monthly service charge for domestic premises that use 0 to 5 units was increased to 300 rupees, while the charge for premises that use 31 to 40 units was increased to 1,500 rupees. The monthly service charge for domestic premises that use 41 to 50 units was increased to 3,000 rupees, while the monthly service charge for domestic premises that use 76 to 100 units was increased to 4,000 rupees. The monthly service charge for domestic premises that use more than 100 units was increased to 4,500 rupees. Tariff for government and assisted schools, religious and approved charitable institutions and non-profit organizations was also increased. The monthly service charge for such premises that use 0 to 5 units will be 400 rupees. The monthly service charge for such premises that use 41 to 75 units will be 2,400 rupees. The charge for premises that use over 75 units will be 3,500 rupees per month. The tariff for government institutions and industries other than BOI zone industries was also revised. The monthly service charge for such premises that use 0 to 25 units will be 500 rupees. The monthly service charge for such premises that use 101 to 200 units will be 2,000 rupees. The monthly service charge for such premises that use more than 20,000 units will be 130,000 rupees. Consumers paying their water bills within 14 days from the date of issue of the bill will be given a rebate of 1.5% on the value of the bill. If consumers fail to settle the water bill within a period of 30 days from the date of receiving a bill, an additional charge of 2.5% on the value of the bill per month shall be made for the balance outstanding from the date the bill was issued. The General Manager of the National Water Supply and Drainage Board shall have the power to disconnect the service connection of consumers whose bills are in arrears for a period of more than 30 days. The fee for reconnecting the supply after the service has been disconnected shall be determined by the General Manager of the National Water Supply and Drainage Board based on the costs incurred for such reconnection. Customers who do not use water at all during a particular month are charged at minimum monthly service charge and VAT amount. If any officer, employee authorized by the General Manager of the National Water Supply and Drainage Board visits the customer's house and collects the water bill fee, customer shall pay a convenience fee determined periodically by the General Manager of the National Water Supply and Drainage Board. Sri Lankan authorities have decided to increase sewerage charges. The increase was announced by Minister of Water Supply and State Infrastructure Development Jeevan Thondaman via an extraordinary gazette. Monthly sewerage service charge will be applicable for all premises, even if the usage is 0 within a particular month. The consumer who uses alternative water supply, in addition to water connection from the National Water Supply and Drainage Board, the respective consumer should pay additional amount which will be determined periodically by the General Manager of the National Water Supply and Drainage Board for the usage charges in respect of alternative water supply. The consumer who has taken sewer connection without water board water connection, he should pay sewerage charge which is estimated based on wastewater generation, which will be determined by the field inspection team appointed by the water board along with the customer. Where the water supply charge and sewerage charge payable by a person in respect of any month is not paid within 30 days from the date of receipt of an invoice for payment relating to such charges, water services will be cut off and sewer connection will be taken out of operational condition. More details on the sewerage charges revision is available on www.newsfirst.lk. In more local news, the Paddy Marketing Board said paddy valued at 295 million rupees was purchased. However, Paddy Marketing Board Chairman Bulletin told News First that there is limited interest among farmers to sell their harvest to the PMB.
Paddy Marketing Board Chairman Bulletin said that Yala season harvest is being reaped and it would take a minimum of 2 weeks to prepare standardized paddy. He also stated that there are preparations to obtain another 750 million rupees from the government to purchase paddy.
Even though there is a demand to purchase paddy from the farmers, there is a lack of delivery of paddy to the Paddy Marketing Board. When the past 2 or 3 weeks were taken into consideration, paddy worth 295 million have been purchased. Further, paddy worth around 200 million is to be purchased under an interest rate of 8% out of the 500 million purchased from the Paddy Board.
The Paddy Marketing Board said that it has commenced purchasing paddy from across 10 districts. Paddy Marketing Board Chairman Bulletin said that 36 paddy storage facilities have been arranged for paddy purchasing purposes.
It's been 11 days since the farmers from Ambilipitia launched a Satyagraha campaign demanding water be released from the Samanalawawa to the Udawalawa reservoir.
Farmers from Ambilipitia on the 24th of July launched a Satyagraha campaign seeking water for their rice field in order to save the crops from destruction. They urged the authorities to release water from the Samanalawawa, which is located above the Udawalawa reservoir. Farmers stressed that they would not abandon their cause until their demands are met. Agriculture Minister Mahinda Amaravira told News First that all discussions that were convened to reach a solution to the issues had failed.
Farming communities of the Hambantota Divisional Secretariat have commenced reaping their harvest. Many farmers reap their harvest during the day as well as at night as the wild elephant crisis has worsened. Farmers said pests are also damaging their crops. These farmers are yet to receive a proper price for the paddy stocks that are being dried on either side of the road. Farming communities of the Hambantota Divisional Secretariat have commenced reaping their harvest. Many farmers reap their harvest during the day as well as at night as the wild elephant crisis has worsened. Farmers said pests are also damaging their crops. These farmers are yet to receive a proper price for the paddy stocks that are being dried on either side of the road. In another headline-making story, Minister of Agriculture Mahinda Amaravira has instructed the officials to transfer the veterinarians from the areas of less necessity to areas of high necessity. This was according to a request made from the Minister of Agriculture by the Association of Veterinarians.
The Association of Veterinarians pointed out that by assigning veterinarians to areas where there is less necessity, it has become difficult to provide their services to areas where there is a high importance. The association further pointed out that certain areas of the Western Province do not need the services of government veterinarians. Accordingly, the Ministry of Agriculture has instructed the Ministry Secretary to direct the veterinarians to areas where their services are vital.
News First with the people.
In other local news, Minister of Plantation Industries Dr. Ramesh Pathirana stated that the second coconut triangle would be launched in the northern province, consisting of the areas in Jaffna, Mannar and Mullaitivu districts.
We will take the steps to establish Sri Lanka's second coconut triangle in the northern province this year, in line with the World Coconut Day, which falls on the 2nd of September. It will be established covering all districts in the northern province. We believe the northern coconut triangle will provide an immense support to Sri Lanka's coconut production. We also included the coconut tree to the Felling of Trees Control Act. Only jackfruit, breadfruit and female palm trees were included in the act. After the regulations are issued, if more than 2 coconut trees are being cut, permission needs to be obtained from the Grama Niladhari officer and the divisional secretary.
He expressed these views during a press conference themed 1 year of progress held at the Presidential Media Centre. The Freedom People's Congress informed the President to hold the election before the division of power. The members of the Freedom People's Congress emphasized this while expressing their views to the media following a meeting held with the Indian High Commissioner yesterday.
India and Sri Lanka has a very close relationship. We especially told him in order to establish a concept like division of power, provincial council elections are important. So if we are to get the assistance of India, we need to hold the respective elections. As a party, we should be aware of what's happening, and we also have things to inform the High Commission. Even though the President attempts to deceive the Tamil community, the Tamil parties cannot be deceived.
The Chamber of Mineral Exporters was formed in Colombo on Wednesday.
The Chamber of Mineral Exporters was formed to all related companies together and advance the country's mineral industry and do more value addition in Sri Lanka. The primary goal of the Chamber of Mineral Exporters is to convert the mineral industry into a major foreign exchange earner, to promote foreign investments and work with the public sector to prepare proper policies with regard to minerals. Vice Chairman of the Chamber of Mineral Exporters elaborated on the issues faced by the mineral industry in Sri Lanka.
Companies that are involved in minerals processing right now bring in a substantial amount of foreign revenue into the country. We have a lot more potential. Land rights used tend to supersede the mineral rights, whereas in most other countries it is the other way around. Yes, Sri Lanka also has the necessary framework in place, but unfortunately it is not implemented in the best possible manner. Then we would also like to ask the authorities to ensure that there is a proper survey of the mineral resources done for whole of Sri Lanka. There is no proper accredited laboratory right now in Sri Lanka which can do the necessary testing to qualify a raw material for different application needs. See, a mineral company has to deal with a minimum of 8 different government agencies for us to function on a day-to-day basis. You can imagine how difficult it is to go and deal with one government agency, because no investor is going to come and invest in a country where the permits and the licenses are only valid for 1 year. I would also like to call out the government to look at the best practices that are there globally, and let's try and adopt those.
The Public Health Inspectors Union of Sri Lanka announced that the E951 aspartame sugar replacement causes cancer, as per the World Health Organization.
A Central Committee member of the PHI Union of Sri Lanka said that the E951 aspartame sugar replacement is in use in the country. However, it is in use on the condition that it cannot be provided to children below the age of 12.
Divi Savya, the second leg of the Divi Savya program to provide much needed school books and stationery items to school children in Sri Lanka. 4th of August, Gampaha, Minuangoda.
Dai Daruwange Anagate Winuwin Divi Savya, LOLC Prajasatkara Mehevara.
The Sri Lanka Transport Board said that 1,400 buses from its fleet meet with accidents annually.
Sri Lanka Transport Board Chairman Lalit Yalwe, speaking to News First, said that the SLTB spends around 465 million rupees to repair these buses and redeploy them into service. He said that the Sri Lanka Transport Board incurs a loss of 800 million rupees given that it takes time to repair SLTB bus following an accident and redeploy it into service. Sri Lanka Transport Board Chairman Lalit Yalwe, speaking to News First, said that a special program is in place to avoid such accidents.
A Sri Lanka asylum seeker is embarking on a 1,000-kilometre walk to deliver Anthony Albanese, Australia's Prime Minister, a message.
Neil Para has collected more than 10,000 signatures calling for people on bridging visas to be given permanent residency. He plans to walk 30 kilometers a day to reach his target. The Albanese government announced in February that 19,000 refugees would be offered a path to stay in Australia. The decision resolved the status of temporary protection and safe haven enterprise visa holders who arrived in Australia by boat before 2014. More than 10,000 refugees rejected under the previous government's fast-track process remain on bridging or expired visas. Also missing out were more than 1,000 people transferred to Australia from offshore detention in Nauru and Papua New Guinea. Para arrived in Australia from Sri Lanka by boat in 2012 and sought protection with his wife and 2 daughters. The Para family was initially detained on Christmas Island and spent several months in other immigration centres before settling in Ballarat in 2013.
A special team from the Nagapattinam police seized 300 kilograms of cannabis bound for Sri Lanka and arrested 6 persons who are suspected to be part of an international gang.
Nagapattinam police received a tip-off regarding smuggling activities taking place in the Nagapattinam district and seized 300 kilograms of cannabis bound for Sri Lanka and arrested 6 persons. The information indicated that a substantial amount of cannabis was being transported from the border areas of Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. The ultimate destination for these drugs was Sri Lanka, and Nagapattinam was being used as a transit point. A major breakthrough with regards to drugs being smuggled to Sri Lanka from Tamil Nadu had occurred last November when the naval police seized cocaine worth 3,600 million rupees from a luxury car near Rameswaram. The 2 occupants of the car were an incumbent Kesakare municipality councillor Sabraz Nawaz and his brother Jainuddin, a former councillor. Both of them belonged to the ruling DMK.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Ali Sabri PC expressed views regarding the 13th Amendment to the Constitution in Colombo on Wednesday.
We have no issue with the Tamil community regarding police powers, but people are saying the police force is already politicized. There needs to be one subject minister and one police force. If there are 9 different police officers for the 9 provinces and it is controlled by 9 chief ministers, how can it affect the country? Not just the Tamil community, but Parliament needs to discuss how it can affect the country as a whole and reach a solution. However, the President has said he is committed to implement the 13th Amendment apart from police powers. Minister of Education Susil Premadayantha says priority has been given to uplifting the economy rather than elections. According to the law, the presidential election should be held around November 2024. Our main issue is taking the country's economic situation forward. When comparing with the situation last year, that is what we have prioritized.
Today is day 2 of the 25th World Scout Jamboree. News First Yasarat Kamal Siri, a special delegate for the Scout Jamboree in South Korea, said that the same Angeum in South Korea, where the event is taking place, is experiencing very high temperatures. He said that the participants have been instructed to remain hydrated to avoid dehydration. Moreover, the Sri Lankan stall prepared by Sri Lankan Scouts will be open on Thursday evening and will be inspected by international delegates. Scouts attending the 25th World Scout Jamboree will be taking part in many activities from Thursday. In more local news, journalist Tharindu Duwaragedara arrived at the police headquarters on Thursday.
Tharindu Duwaragedara arrived at the police headquarters on Thursday morning to file a complaint against the Baralla police.
General Salifu Modi, one of the Niger officers who seized power in a military coup last week, visited Mali amid speculation of a possible interest in the Wagner mercenary group, which has a presence in the country.
Mali's transitional president Assimi Goïta hosted General Salifu Modi and a large Nigerian military delegation on Wednesday. Hundreds of Wagner contractors are stationed in Mali at the invitation of the country's military junta to quell an insurgency brewing in an area where the borders of Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger meet. The dramatic ouster of Niger's President Bazoum last week alarmed Western leaders, including the US and France, which are both key stakeholders in Niger's crackdown on local Islamist insurgencies. US officials have warned that the Russian mercenary group could now seek new opportunities in Niger. The coup has provoked a split reaction from countries in the Sahel region, where the threat of militant extremists in recent years has destabilized local governments and led to volatility. On Monday, Mali and Burkina Faso's governments said they would consider any military intervention an act of war against them and put their armies on standby. The statement comes after the Economic Community of West African States on Sunday threatened to use forces if Niger's ousted president, Mohamed Bazoum, was not reinstated within 1 week. The Economic Community of West African States also imposed a travel ban and asset freeze for the military officials involved in the coup attempt, as well as for their family members and civilians who accept to participate in any institution or government established by the officials. While the coup was taking place, African leaders attended meetings with Russian President Vladimir Putin, with little to show for their request to resume a deal that kept grain flowing from Ukraine and to find a path to end the war there.
That's a wrap of the lunchtime news. Join us again at 9 p.m. for primetime news on TV1.
Be the first to know about the biggest stories as they break. Subscribe to News First English News Alerts. News First